One of the most notorious countries in the world today, North Korea. It is ruled by a harsh dictatorship. It is more like a planet of the Kim Dynasty than a country. Life there has been frozen in the 1970s. A people who worship their leaders like gods, traffic police who look like robots, nuclear missiles, labor camps. There is no internet, newspapers, and television are under state control, and leaving the country is prohibited. So what is happening in this country? Or what happened to bring it to this state? Here is the reality of North Korea from yesterday to today. In 1910, Japan invaded Korea, and everything began after this event. Koreans who began living as Japanese colonists were even banned from speaking Korean after the occupation. In this situation, the Soviet Union liberated North Korea from Japanese occupation. Seeing this, the United States entered the game and dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan on August 9, 1945. After this event, atomic bombs were never used again. Japan, which was devastated by the atomic bombs, was forced to withdraw from Korea. North Korea remained under Soviet control, while South Korea came under American control. Korea was divided into 2 separate states with 2 different governments. Both sides claimed rights over Korea and could not agree on the borders. Stalin put Kim Il-sung in charge of North Korea. Kim Il-sung had protected his country from the Japanese with the rank of major and was known as the legendary hero of Korea. This man, who was the leader of a wounded people, was actually a puppet of the Soviet Union. The division of Korea was a great blow to him. The official name of North Korea becomes the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. They do not recognize the existence of South Korea. They view the Americans as an unwanted empire on South Korean soil. North Korea, which views Korea as a single country, invades South Korean territory in 1950 in an attempt to reunify the country. To this end, it receives help from both Soviet Russia and China. In response to this, the United States requests help from the United Nations. The United States enters the war and drops 200,000 bombs on the capital of North Korea. The city is almost completely destroyed, with nearly 1 bomb dropped per person. Kim Il-sung suffers a heavy defeat and is unable to protect the North Korean people. When Stalin, who had brought him to power, dies in 1953, he rolls up his sleeves and begins to look for a way to consolidate his position. However, he is faced with a people who have openly rebelled and a country that has been destroyed. Realizing that he cannot cope with this, Kim Il-sung launches a program called Songbun to control the people. According to this program, there are 3 main groups: the loyal, the doubters, and the traitors. Under this system, people in the country cannot even decide their own professions. The state determines a person's profession based on their class. People of lower class are forced to do heavy labor far from the city. The average working hours are 12 hours a day. The loyal are appointed to high-level positions. If you were living in North Korea and belonged to the traitors class, you would be sent to labor camps along with all your close relatives. Because there, if one person makes a mistake, the entire family pays the price. Growing up with this and similar experiences, the people become unable to do anything against the government. Otherwise, they will share the same fate as the traitors. By the 1960s, there was no one left to threaten the Kim Dynasty regime. This is how the Kim Dynasty's empire of fear became so solid. While this was the situation in the North, the South became a capitalist country under the influence of South America. Now, these 2 countries, which share the same history and language, have become completely different from each other. The North Korean system seems better in the early years, but after a few years, South Korea begins to get richer. It becomes clear which system enriches people. The leader of North Korea, Kim Il-sung, believes that South Koreans want to join them, but that the United States will not allow it. In response, in 1968, he sent his 31 best commandos to the border and ordered them to eliminate South Korean leader Park Chung-hee. Park Chung-hee, who came to power through a coup, was a loyal ally of the United States. 30 of the 31 commandos sent to eliminate him lost their lives. Only 1 survived. He has 2 choices: surrender or die. This is because when a comrade is captured, he must destroy himself. Poison capsules are placed on them so that they can destroy themselves if they are captured. However, this commando chooses to live and surrenders to South Korea. For North Korea, he is now a traitor. The price for his mistake is paid by his family in North Korea. His mother and father are unfortunately executed in public in the middle of a stadium. Kim Il-sung seems to have sworn never to stop. In October 1983, he orders an attack during a visit by a South Korean delegation, killing 19 people, including the presidential spokesman. Our obsessed lover, Kim Il-sung, believes that the South Korean people still want him. But he is a president hated by the people. At this point, Kim Il-sung's son enters the game. His name is Kim Jong-il. His only goal is to make his father a god in the eyes of the people. All religions are abolished, the entire country is completely atheist, and even possessing a Bible is prohibited. Gigantic statues of Kim Il-sung are erected. There are no advertisements anywhere, so all you see on the streets are banners of Kim Il-sung. His love for children is shoved in people's faces. His biggest trump card is America. According to him, America killed their brothers during the war. There is hatred toward America among the people. The Kim family exploits this hatred to the fullest. This allows them to appear as protectors of the people. For this reason, the people worship them. What you see here is the border between North and South Korea. It is the demilitarized zone between the two Koreas. There is a poplar tree here, and it grows day by day. The growing poplar tree limits the view of both countries. South Korea sends 2 soldiers to prune the tree, and the branches are cut. However, there is something the South Koreans do not know. The North Koreans believe that the tree was planted by their leader, Kim Il-sung. Upon learning this, a North Korean officer orders the 2 American soldiers who pruned the tree to be killed. North Korean soldiers attack and kill the 2 soldiers. This incident angers South Korea greatly, and they prepare a special team. This time they go to the area by helicopter and cut down the tree at its roots. Kim Il-sung is aware that he is weak and wants to protect himself. For this reason, he spends serious money on the army and nuclear weapons. Kim Il-sung's son, Kim Jong-il, feels unloved and lives in his father's shadow. He wants to prove himself to his father. With this decision, he decides to make films that will introduce North Korea to the whole world. He wants to bring out local talent, but cannot. He does not like anything that comes his way. South Korea is far superior to them in this regard. The ambitious and spoiled Kim Jong-il devises a diabolical plan. A female actress, one of South Korea's best stars, suddenly disappears. The woman's husband is South Korea's best film producer. The man, who wants to find his wife, also disappears mysteriously. What happened to these people? Kim Jong-il ordered them to be brought to him, and they were. The couple was held in North Korea for 8 years. They were provided with every possible amenity and forced to star in dozens of films. Kim Jong-il, believing he had achieved victory, became intoxicated with happiness. He thought the most famous stars were his citizens. Over the years, the couple gained his trust. They even attended a film festival in Europe together. They went to Vienna for the festival, but things did not go as Kim Jong-il had planned. The couple secretly escaped from their hotel in Vienna and met with a journalist. From there, they went to the American embassy and told them everything. Finally, the couple was reunited with their son, who was living in South Korea, and regained their freedom. Kim Jong-il's dreams were shattered. Then, in 1988, it is decided that the Olympics will be held in Seoul, the capital of South Korea. Upon hearing this news, the North Korean leader immediately begins construction of a massive stadium. His demand is to hold the Olympics jointly with South Korea, but of course, his demands are rejected. He looks to the Soviet Union and China for help in boycotting the Olympics in South Korea, but they also decide to participate in the South Korean Olympics. The North Korean leader is now consumed with jealousy. On November 29, 1987, he sends a female agent on a plane to Seoul. She has a bomb that looks like a radio and a bottle of whiskey ready to explode, and the plane disappears. North Korea has become completely ugly. Now its target is innocent people. Thinking that these events will unite the two countries, North Korea is, on the contrary, driving the two countries further apart. Despite everything, South Korea organizes a magnificent Olympics. Kim Jong-il and his father have now lost all respect in the world. The local people are unaware of what is happening. They have no idea how their country looks from the outside. This is because they have neither the internet nor television. Kim Il-sung, the people's supposed god, dies of a heart attack in 1994. Now the spoiled child Kim Jong-il is at the head of the country, but the country he has inherited is in a terrible state. Except for the capital Pyongyang, which has been prepared to tell the world that we are doing very well, everywhere else is in terrible condition. More than 500,000 people have died due to malnutrition. The country is in a terrible state, but the regime is still in power. As we know, North Korea is a country completely closed to the outside world. Therefore, it cannot trade with other countries. While tens of thousands of workers toil in a shipyard, over 100 people die each day from starvation. To feed their workers, companies secretly sell steel to China. Kim Jong Un finds out. Upon learning this, he executes 8 people in front of the workers. The workers, angered by this, decide to stage a sit-in. All they want is to feed themselves. However, the spoiled Kim Jong-il brings in a tank the next day and crushes them all. While the people are starving, Kim Jong-il is living in luxury. For example, when he craves beer, it is brought to him from Prague in a private jet, and when he craves caviar, it is brought to him from Iran. By 2011, Kim Jong-il dies of a heart attack, just like his father. Kim Jong-un comes to power. However, Kim Jong-un has a stepbrother, Kim Jong-nam. Kim Jong-nam, who was educated in Europe for 10 years, has no interest in the throne. In fact, he is against the Kim family. He travels the world with a fake passport. One day, he is caught while entering Japan. He is a source of shame for the Kim family. Kim Jong-nam begins living in China and gives interviews to journalists harshly criticizing the North Korean regime. This drives North Korean leader Kim Jong-un mad, and he decides to deal with his brother. In 2017, Kim Jong-nam was walking toward the terminal at the Malaysian airport when 2 women approached him. They sprayed one of the most toxic chemicals known to man on his face and fled. He died within minutes. Kim Jong-un spent the first 5 years of his leadership purging his opponents. His biggest target was his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law was number 2 in the hierarchy of power. He had good relations with China and was a talented man. Rumors spread that he had conspired with the Chinese leader to overthrow Kim Jong-un and put his brother in his place. Even those closest to him accuse him of serious crimes against the state. He is accused of corruption in North Korean newspapers. And finally, he is executed with an anti-aircraft gun. North Korea never relents in its aggressive stance. This is because it always feels threatened. It has a trump card that will make its enemies think twice before attacking it. That trump card is its nuclear power. This issue attracts the attention of the United States. It even tries to get North Korea to abandon its missile program, but fails. South Korea, wary of North Korea, moves closer to the United States. But the situation is not exactly the same among the people. North Koreans send balloons to South Koreans. They send messages saying they want to reunite. They write things like, "Let's unite and show America what we're made of" on the balloons. In 2018, North Korea sent athletes to the Olympics in South Korea along with a delegation. South Korea accepted this olive branch. North and South Korean athletes competed together under the unified Korean flag. Following this event, a North Korean leader and a South Korean leader met for the first time. They shook hands right at the border. Kim Jong-un stepped into South Korea. At Kim Jong-un's invitation, they also stepped into North Korea. This was a historic moment. South Korea and the United States are trying to dissuade North Korea from its nuclear ambitions. However, it seems unlikely that North Korea will give up this obsession. We will see what the future holds for North Korea and the world. What do you think? Do you think the Kim dynasty will come to an end one day? We will live and see together. Goodbye.